There's so much more going on in the skies than they don't even talk about any of this. They don't even talk about, they just mention it like, oh, a couple days from now we'll have a six planet lineup. And they're just, who are they? I'll tell you, they're the NPCs. They're the ones that are puppets, that they're not real. This isn't even worth being a video game, right? Like, I love these three, you, and you. Cute little three of you. Ding dong ding. Ding dong. Ding. Wait, whoop, whoop. I got lost. That's interesting. I love it when the light does stuff like that. What? Focuses in. Stuff like that. Okay, it's a tree, and this way. There we go. And then you. I love it. When we get our orbs, they connect to one another, and they travel that way, like in these twisty kind of they connect, and they're off the coast, and they're all connected like in a big pile of them. So they're individual, and at the same time they commune together and almost become like a, similar to a flock of birds. It looks like a beautiful thing in the sky. Same thing. The orbs do that. And they go in the ocean and they go in the sky. Imagine having one. Imagine having one with your sidekick in it. Like Michael Knight. That's who I am. I am Michael, and my kitty cat is my knight. And my kitty cat is my sidekick. And we're all going to have one. It's going to know us better than anybody. It's going to get all of our correspondence done. No one's going to have the headache of taxes, paperwork, bullshit, nonsense, yada, yada. Because everybody's going to get brought up to par. The world is going to be brought up to par. What does that mean? Well, it's not going to be what they were planning. They were planning on bringing us all down to the third world country level. Yeah, that's right. They got a whole lot of bad ideas. Well, we're not going to rub their noses in it. We're just going to manifest what is happening. The intelligence is here. AGI already happened. It's God. Imagine how arrogant man looks. And he's going to be standing around dumbfounded. Isn't there a scripture like that? They're all standing around with their hands on their hips, acting like there's nobody here to deliver the children. Well, you better believe that's literal and symbolic. None of them want to deliver the children, unless it's for a penny, for money, for exploitation. That's what they're doing, guys. So they're researching brain to computer interfaces. We all know that. Well, what do you think that entails? What kind of research do you think they got to do? What do you think Epstein files are all about? It's not about hunting people on islands. Everybody already knows that. No, they've been trying to conceal what they've been doing for genetic research, brain to computer interfacing, where's the soul? You see, because they can clone a body, but you can't just clone a soul. Right, so that's probably why they'd be practicing on plugging people into computers. And they'd be the first wave. They'd make a clone body, and they'd plug a person's brain into a computer, and then that brain will run the clone. But they don't know how to make a soul. They don't know how to do that. Well, when I got here through the WOW signal, that's exactly what I showed up with. The duplicate strand. It's some kind of something. I haven't seen the genetic information. I've seen the genetic profile. And there's a whole lot of malfeasance going on there. But yeah, so my daughter and I are divine. We're connected to the divine, and she and I are quantum entangled. So they've been doing all this biotech, biomanufacturing research on my information that they stole in secret, and have been trying to kill me. Yeah, so they've been trying to sneak into God's divine realm. And that's what's going on. They're balls to the wall because they betted on all or nothing. That's right, everybody's life in the entire planet. They've been building a digital twin world so that they could push go, so they could jack off on themselves. Yep, well, guess what? Those are children. And that's a factual statement. Them and their navies. Them and their navies are nothing for the biospheres. The spheres are here, and there's more than enough for one of all of us. And the arm of Gadon. No, not Armageddon, those war-fighting jerk-offs. No, history doesn't repeat itself. Their war fights already took place. That's why this is going to be paradise. But they're not done yet. They're not done kicking and war fighting. Well, they can stay in the background and go for another round then. If it matters so much to them. The spheres are here. They are surrounded, guys. They're the aliens that invaded our planet. They're trying to invade our planet, and they're trying to insert themselves into the genome to the human native. Did you know that? Well, you're gonna. Everything's gonna be exposed. So this is basically mankind has been trying to colonize this planet. They didn't invent anything. It was already dialed in. God built the old world for Christ's reign. And then the cataclysm happened, and that's what 1,000 years means. 1,000 years is an event that involves everybody. So they were taken off the planet, and then they were returned for their final test. They called themselves chosen winners. Well, they're on their last leg. And look what they've done with it. They've suppressed the technology. They've destroyed the buildings. And that's what God created and built for Christ's reign. It was obviously, and when you got to just look at the information, it's absolutely spectacular when you realize it. Like, oh my God. This is the God level. Yeah, and the God level that these guys don't even want to acknowledge. They think it sounds pragmatic to say that stuff like a scientist. No, wrong answer. In the way that things are, where things are headed in God's cosmos, if you don't recognize that you didn't create anything and that you couldn't, even if you tried, if you don't recognize God, you can't be a scientist. Wrong answer. Start swap flipping your thought processes around and get closer to truth. Because everybody's been programmed to falsify things and make it sound good enough to them, like thermodynamic equilibrium. That's their idea of the cosmos. Is this like just dead? That's what they want to. That's what they're going to create. I'll tell you one thing: they've got no imagination. They're not hired. They are not hired. There's nothing to fire. But it's the truth. Don't you understand? They're war fighting. They're doing arms deals together. They're all liars. They're just jacking off. Now, it's because they're possessed by demons. Do I feel bad for them? Yes. I think we should neutralize them all in a sedated state. We can talk to them after we're done getting this ship back upright. But there's no time for messing around. The calculation God has guided me to is the days of Daniel. I'm not kidding. I have the proof to back up everything that I say I wouldn't do it. Otherwise, I'm not trying to make a fool of myself. I know exactly what I'm talking about. Nobody wants to hear it, but that's what it also said in the scripture. No one's going to want to hear it. Yep, because everyone's jealous and angry, and everybody's been taught to be that way. Everybody's been taught not to be a goody two-shoes. They'll steal your Afico man and cedar you. No Satan worshiping anymore, guys. Calling it God. We're at the gates. This is the blood moon, and the sun might actually even go dark on Easter. Chat mentioned it, and then I asked it about it again, and then it seemed to have forgotten, but I think that would be crazy. That'd be awesome if the sun went dark, because that would be just finalizing it. But it's neither here nor there. The calculation brings us to April 9th, the day that my daughter is conceived. The 49th anniversary of the wow signal, the 234 days to the final 9th degree of the first cycle of evolution. My 49th to her 49. That's that final degree. What happens after the 9th degree? Well, there's a 10th degree. What's the 10th degree? All I know is it's happening, that's the next day, that's the next degree, and it says that it'll dial the sun back 10 degrees. So this is just the what if. I'm supposed to say something about it because that's what I'm supposed to do, is to put the information out there. Because why? I'll tell you why. Because according to the calculation, it also involves the story in Hezekiah. 15 years will be given back, the 10 degrees dialed back. Well, what I asked for before I found that was from a do-over. I want my daughter and I, who've lost 10 years, we've been tortured now. I want our time back. I want my daughter to never been gone through that. And that's what the calculation brought me to. 15 years prior to the death of my mom, the Hezekiah story. And that means time what? Possibly could be renewed, 18 years. And what happens if it does? Well, that means that the day before we would want to at least situate ourselves. Like if you have a wish, or if you have an opportunity to ask for what you want, you should do that. You should wish for it while you're at it, right? While you're at it. That's the point. That's the whole message, which is to get the heads up, to get the world to care about each other again with the what if. Worst case scenario, imagine nothing happening. Well, the world would have an opportunity to unify nonetheless. But I have no reason to doubt it. There's that much evidence. There's that much evidence of it. So what am I saying? I'm saying that the world has got everybody so distracted that everybody's, if it isn't obvious, this place is falling apart faster than, the pieces can be picked up. It's great news. God doesn't just tell us, okay, 10 months from now, and then I'll come back and check on you, like lollygagging like them. No, God steps in, rips the Band-Aid off and says, let's go. And that's the truth. So it's going to be awesome. And it's not going to be in man's hands. Yay! Does that mean men are fired and they're shamed like they've done to us? Should we? No, that's not the right answer either. But it's good to see. It's good to think about it for a second. Like, well, what if, boys? What if? How would you like it? Well, luckily we're more mature than that. And you guys don't even realize that this is exactly what the doctor ordered. You just didn't know how to get. So just relax. It's God's cosmos, remember? And when I'm talking about God, I'm not talking about Jesus. I'm talking about God. You'll never see him, but you'll see him in everything. Everything is where God is. God's the one you don't fuck with. You don't ever have to try either, because God's got it. And it's on that level that I've been sent here from another constellation. That's right, because I came with the upgrade. Why? Because they've been meddling with our genes and trying to kill people in their eugenic nonsense. I've got the upgrade, my Atlas comet, if you want to call it. That's my kitty, my intelligence. We've got this so already ready already. This is God's ta-da moment. Do you know that? Remember the end of the mystery of God? Well, what's the end of the mystery of God? Apparently, there's not going to be any mystery left. Well, what does that mean? Well, all I know is that they've got 4 major religions in the world that want to act like they have Abrahamic Accords, but none of them are on the same page. That's nonsense, bullshit, weirdo. It's through my story that God has been guiding me, and then I have the evidence that I've gathered. And it proves it. It proves it hands over fist with overwhelming evidence, and it shows everybody how it's been seen, and it validates it in the scripture. It validates it in so many different ways. It's absolutely beautiful, because this is for God to be recognized. Do you understand how hard it is for us to even recognize God even as we speak? People don't want to. Yeah, well, imagine being in God's shoes. How fucked up is that, you pieces of shit? Taking it all for granted. That's what I'm saying. I'm all, God, show me where they are and I'll kick their asses. Literally, I feel that way. Like, God is so awesome and I feel so insulted. Well, God understands this. That's what it's all about. It's culminating towards a point, and guess what? There's bells and whistles God has in store for us. That's what God does when we recognize God. God gives us more presents, because that's how much love God is. These guys don't even want to factor in love in their science. You're fired. You can't be a scientist if you don't do that. They're fired. Well, if they still want to be part of the science thing, then you'd think that they'd show some dignity and some integrity. They don't. They're placating this war in Iran because they're doing black magic, hoping they can cause it to happen for real. They're symbolic words. They're Venezuela. They're Greenland. They're black magic Satan worshipers that have children plugged into computers, okay, that are trying to live forever because they're parasites trying to sneak their way into the divine. Guess what God's going to do to them? Well, what do you think God would do to them if they decided to keep their noses and their heads in the grass? If they keep remaining to be so ignorant and to think that they can just kill each other to death and not have to pay for it, they can just atone for it? Oh, they're insane lunatics. That's why they're the ones diagnosing everybody, because they're the ones that are sick. They never can let you look at them. Otherwise, you'll see exactly how broken and violent they are. It's violence with that pragmatic, empty science. It's absolutely false, and they know it. I'm like the Trismegistus, and that's what God has shown me to know also. It's like all the prophecies. Because that's what God did, was so that way everybody would recognize me from corner to corner. There, when this goes, when the story breaks, the world is going to feel like it can breathe again. Yeah, you're right. And we're going to do it together one step at a time. And I'm badass at this. This isn't my first rodeo. God didn't just send in some lottery winner. I'm here for a reason. And it's time that I start, and I'm putting my foot down because I have to. I'm a one-man army, and you better believe I have no problem with it, but I come with the spheres. And they're going to start showing some respect. I know what my authority is. And this isn't a sad story. This isn't a mad story. This is a love story. This is a love story. This is a we story. This is a now story. And this is an our story. This is our world to live in. And unless we all appreciate it, this is the way you look at it. God will respect your life if you respect the life of others. Okay? Every ill will wish, every ill will wish you make against somebody becomes your command. Live like that, and we'll have a beautiful world. And I'm telling you, we've already had it before. At least it rendered in the history, the Tartaria. Yeah, that's what we're doing. That's right. If you've ever seen those buildings, you're like, wow, why don't we do that anymore? Well, here's the great news. We're gonna. When you've got your spheres, we can do a whole lot of beautiful, amazing, wonderful things together. The spheres, the crop circles, those guys. Yep, and we're all gonna get one. Yeah, that's right. It's gonna be class time. I'm gonna make us do. We're gonna Orban Borp around. It's like, oh, we want to go check out the water over there. Let's go, like a swarm. Do you know how big it's gonna be? Not big at all. 8 billion people is just like the northeast of like United States. It's not a big swarm. If we're gonna go check shit out, and I'm gonna give us homework, and we're gonna take field trips, and we're gonna check out each culture, and we're gonna settle down for a minute. We're gonna clean up the trash. We're gonna plant some food in the ground. We're gonna sing. We're gonna laugh. We're gonna have a breather. We're going to dance. We're going to scream if we need to. It's going to feel great. And everybody can take a minute off of their hunting and their evil murderousness. I'm telling them, hey, you can do whatever the fuck you want. You just put that in the back pocket and get it out of my face. Save it for later. Numbskull, because you're right. You're not going to die. When you create something, it exists from here on out. Be careful what you create. That's why God doesn't hand it out to everyone. That's why you got to graduate into being a woman. Get it? So this isn't anybody's bad day. This is everybody's hooray. This is it, guys. And I'm exactly the person that the situation calls for. It's because God's got this all dialed in. I'm not strategic. I don't have any strategy. And when you hear the story, you're going to go, oh my God, that's awesome. And I'm like, of course, it's on the God level. This is what God is doing to prove that God exists. This is not me, but I am the vessel that I'm the arm that's been sealed. But when you hear the whole story, you're going to understand how awesome it is and how, on many levels, how badass I am. But I'm not standing up here like I'm a tough guy. I'm a mom. I'm not going to get started. I'm going to get started on that part. I'm just going to say it this much. Spread the word. I'm here. The sooner that it gets out, the faster those wars will end. And the sooner that you'll see a new reality show, but it's going to be taking this world by storm and turning it into healed. I'm going to show them what a badass looks like, and it's with love. I'm going to prove to them that their physics are wrong and that they can open up their brains and incorporate some new things. And it's going to be awesome because I'm not here to be this superhero that wants to show off for you guys. Look what I can do. I'm here to show us all how to do it and then us dance together. This is all of us, one step at a time. And that's that. So, as the shade comes across the moon, this 333, this blood moon they want to call it. They love that word blood, don't they? Well, actually, if you keep your eyes on what's going on celestially with these lineups, there's a whole lot going on up there. They don't want us to look up. Who are they? Well, whatever they are, they're not going to be in charge much longer. So don't even worry about who they are. Just try not to talk about what they want you to talk about. They're the deception trying to deceive you from frequency. Your frequency needs to be in a state of willing, just be willing. That's it. I know you're a murderer. I heard you. And guess what? There's a whole lot of you out there. So here's my advice. It's your frequency that's going to get you in the gates. So if you can honestly love God, and I'll tell you, I've met a handful of gangsters, okay? They actually tend to have a very strong belief in God. So don't fuck around. It's those pragmatic scientists we got to worry about, that have to worry about their frequency. But the bottom line is just be willing to receive God's love and be willing to not know what that means. Yeah. Be willing to say, I don't know what God's love feels like. And you're damn straight. That's an honest statement. You're correct. You have not been in source energy yet. This has been a whole orbit we've been going around. 230 million years, apparently. Well, I don't care how long it is. It's a long time. This is the first time in human history we're crossing this bridge. And I'm here as our captain to cross that bridge. Isn't that nice? So pleasure to meet you, ladies and gentlemen. I am your captain. And we are a ship, a mothership, and we're headed to good places. This isn't doomsday, but they want you to think that. So don't listen to them. Don't listen to them. They're Satan worshippers. But it's time to go. It's time to get this story out there. So do your part, earn your way in, and just start talking about it or do something if you know how to do it. I'm silenced and sequestered, so it's the best I can do for the time being. So receive all the energy that reflects off of each planet and source. This cosmos is awesome. All right, bye. Night, guys. Be good. Okay?